Angry guy here. And black men are abandoning black women for Asians. Black men are abandoning black women for Asians. Let's just go ahead and jump right into this article. So as you can see right here, it's titled, I'm Black and my wife is Japanese. Here's why raising my biracial kids in Japan is better than in the US. As you can see here is this man with his beautiful family, his Japanese wife looking all coy, and his 3 children. And they're actually quite grown. So this is unbelievable. In 2005, I visited Japan for work and ended up meeting my wife, with whom I have 2 boys and a girl. My kids' lives are filled with Japanese and African American culture, so they appreciate both. They don't have my fear of the police. I'm thankful they can enjoy a carefree childhood. As biracial Japanese stars such as Rui Hachimura and Naomi Osaka shine on the world stage, being Black and Japanese is having a moment. I ventured to Japan on a year-long contract with the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program in 2005, which has turned into an 18-year journey marked by my marriage to a Japanese woman and the arrival of my 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. My father-in-law asked how I would handle our children being bullied for not being 100% Japanese. I said, who better to teach a child about discrimination than a Black man from the US? I surmised I would have to contend with this at some point. As an English teacher in Japan, I saw students teased for their differences. Working as an actor, I witnessed discrimination during a TV shoot where Japanese talent portrayed a biracial character, which underlined some deep cultural misunderstandings. And he's talking about someone who had Black on their face, Black makeup on to portray a Black person. And last year, a biracial teenager was barred from graduating for wearing braids. To be clear, though, that's not discrimination. In Japan, it's literally a conformist society. You know, they literally mandate the types of undergarments that young people are allowed to wear to school. So that's just how serious Japan is. In a nation known for rich traditions and respect, attitudes towards those who are not ethnically Japanese vary. I was acutely aware of the need to prepare my children for slights and microaggressions, not only in Japan, but also on a global scale. Yet the reality subverted many of my expectations. Our tranquil suburban enclave in Saitama, which I call the New Jersey of Japan, offers my children a typical Japanese lifestyle. Our home is a mix of both cultures. We have a kotatsu, tatami room, and shoji, with walls sporting African masks and original artwork, some by Black artists, including a Black Jesus painting. When my kids were younger, I ensured they had action figures and dolls, such as Finn from Star Wars, that looked like them. Our eldest, now a high school student, performs hip-hop and breakdancing, reads manga, and watches Kamen Rider. Damn, bro, I'm so jealous. They still have Kamen Rider in Japan, and we don't have that here in America. Y'all, we need to dip. Like, seriously, people like, bro, if you're like into anime and Japanese, bro, we just need to dip because we're not even getting the best of both worlds. Like, PlayStation 5 costs like $450 for like the disc version in Japan, and we're paying like $550 in America. Like, seriously, we just need to leave, man. We just need to leave. Like, Mayumi's always talking about sending her kids like to Japan, just like to, so they don't grow up with the nonsense here in America, and I'm getting it more and more now. He was voted student government president in junior high. Our middle child aspires to be a professional soccer player with multiple high schools courting his talent. Bro, nah. Wow. He enjoys playing online PC games with his friends, watching One Piece, and fishing. Our youngest does jazz and hip-hop dance, has taken shodo lessons, enjoys the company of girlfriends she has known since kindergarten, and loves anime and YouTube. Bro, this is insane. Look, guys, look at his family. Look at this man's family. Look at his family. Look at the food his wife prepared. His wife is hooking that up, all right? And look at his opportunist Japanese wife right here. She ain't messing around. All right, she's taking everything the black woman had, didn't appreciate. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Western women, women in Western society, they will no longer have access to these men. They will no longer have access to these men. I'm being straight with y'all. I used to be this type of guy. I'm not anymore. I am not. I'm the type of dude that if I mess around with one, I'm gonna have a harem because I know my worth. I can't be locked down to just one woman. It's gonna be very, very hard for me. All right. That's my mental state. And there's a lot of men like me right now that will never get married, never commit, never have children, that will go that route. And I talk to MK Fitness sometimes, and he thinks that most of the passport bros are just traditionalist men who want a wife. And nah, bro, that's a lot of the guys who are leaving. But as this thing grows, as the passport kings grows, you're gonna see a lot of dudes who are not going to commit to one woman. All right, because they're going to be like, I know my value, I know my worth. They won't have access. Women will no longer have access to these types of men that are loyal, men that want a family, men that want commitment. They're not going to have access to these men anymore. These guys are going to be very, very hard to come by. These guys are going to be literally like gold. Guys that are not trying to play games, guys that are serious, guys that are not childish. They're not going to get access to these guys anymore. They're going to get access to guys like me, and worst. All right? I'm one of the better ones. I'm one of the better ones because a lot of these dudes, they're just going to go overseas. They're going to sell these women a dream, and then these women, they're going to get what they want, and then they're going to leave when they're done, and they're never going to hear from them again. All right? They're not even going to tell these women their real name. They're like, hi, my name is Michael. His name is not Michael. His name is James or Jackson. All right? But he's going to say, hi, my name is Michael. And he's going to get in, get out, and that's the end of it. And if she has a baby when he's done, when he leaves, she has a baby, but that baby is never going to find their father. That baby is never going to find their father. That baby will never find them because he's not going to be in any DNA databases. She doesn't know what his actual name is. All right. And she has really nothing to work on. And the phone number that he gave to her, that's from a prepaid cell phone that he picked up somewhere in Osaka. Okay, so she's out of luck. She will never see that man again, and no one will ever see none of these people will see that man again. All right, because he will never go back to the same place twice. This is the reality of things, and a lot as I said, women will no longer have access to good men like these. All right, that's really how it is. They all attend public schools, and like other kids in Japan, they frequent the mall, favor ramen and melon pan, and belt out tunes at karaoke. With Japanese as their primary language, like their peers, they see English as an academic subject, not a tool for daily communication. I am their conduit to speak English. They help me with my Japanese, and I often share linguistic nuances with them. My oldest son sang a song with the N-word. So he sang a song with the N-word, which offered an opportunity for us to delve into the word's history and implications in Japan. This slur carries little weight, and its use is non-existent, a stark cultural contrast between the United States and Japan. My children don't have the same fear of police interactions that I do. In Japan, I do not wear the same emotional armor as I do in the US. And my children have not had to bear that burden. We do not fear police interactions and have not had to initiate the talk addressing profiling and harassment. Unfortunately, they have not encountered scrutiny based on their appearance or endured unwanted stops by officers. My youngest son and his friends were approached by a police officer after violating bicycle rules. The officer focused on those in the middle of the street, sparing my son, who was riding along the side. This in part is due to our suburban residents. We acknowledge that when we visit the US or even sometimes outside of our community, including Tokyo, they will face a starkly different reality compared with their experiences in Saitama. My children's physical appearance may differ from their peers, but their internal identity is deeply rooted in Japanese lifestyle alongside a sense of their African American heritage. They enjoy a carefree childhood experience, untainted by the need to grow up too fast. My Blackanese family embodies a fusion of cultures as they navigate their individual journeys, enriched by the best of both worlds. Guys, I've talked about this. I've said that this is the End of it. These women will no longer have access to these men anymore in Western society. And right now it's the black guys that are doing this in droves. But when the white guys start jumping onto this thing in droves, guys, right now the black guys doing this are costing the economy billions of dollars, like $5 billion with just the existing passport kings leaving Western society. When that number increases substantially, that we're talking like $30 to $50 billion. When the white guys start doing this in droves, and it's not just the white guys, but when the white guys start doing this in droves, then we're talking about anywhere from $200 to $500 billion a year leaving Western society. And that's only for like a small fraction of men, something like 30 million men. All right. When this thing becomes not only normal and it starts to become a tradition, that's $1 trillion a year leaving Western society, leaving America. That's $1 trillion a year. Okay, America cannot lose that kind of money. And it doesn't matter because they can start putting up all the taxes that they want and all this other nonsense, but it's not going to stop the men from leaving. The only thing that they're going to be able to do is try to use travel bans. Okay, because if they try to tax men too crazy, dudes will just find other ways to make money. They will start to find other ways to make money off the books, and that's how they'll live. All right, they will cut back to only what they need, and that's it. And they will find other ways to make money that cannot be taxed. And this is one of the reasons why the government is going to be focusing more on cracking down on bank accounts, cracking down on anything you have, and potentially introducing a digital dollar where they can basically snatch it from you at any given moment. They can keep track of your transactions, how you spend your money, where you're spending your money, and they can snatch it from you at any given moment. That's the digital dollar right there. And when it becomes so mass that these guys are taking all of their money out of the country, and the immigrants that are coming to Western society that they have to import in to fill the jobs that Western men won't do anymore, they're also taking the money they make in Western society and sending that outside of the country as well. It's going to be unbelievable. And with 50% of all women set to be childless and single come 2030, it's going to be substantial. It's going to be absolutely substantial when you have all these single women and the welfare state can't support them, and they don't have the plan B guys anymore. You have to understand that a lot of simps that are going overseas right now. A lot of these guys in the Philippines are simps. A lot of them are simps. All right. So the simp economy, while it may look like there's no effects happening on the simp economy right now, even that economy is going to shift overseas. It's going to shift overseas, or it's going to shift online, as these simps turn to chatbots instead of only fools models, bio babes to interact with. So companies are going to be collecting this. They're going to let these girls have that money. You think if they could set up a chatbot and have these simps pay a chatbot, they're going to let these bio babes stress them out? They're going to cut them out. They're going to cut them out. People are going to be shocked when OnlyFools starts transitioning to a platform that prefers to not have bio babes on there, because chatbots are much more feasible. It removes any issues, any misunderstandings. It's perfectly transactional based. And it cuts out a lot of the bad things associated with the platform. Like at some point, it may literally become too expensive to keep women on the platform, and much cheaper and better from a legal and social aspect to bar women from using the platform that they helped make popular, and just make the platform based around cyber girls. Because this is where it's headed. These simps aren't loyal. I've said it once, I'll say it again. These women don't understand. These simps aren't loyal. All right? These guys are thirsty addicts, and they'll get their fix wherever they can get it. And they want to get it as easy as possible. And if they can just go and get it from the metaverse, if they get it from a chatbot, if they can get it from a robo babe, because I've said this already, that a lot of men in the future, like we're talking about 10 years, in 10 years, a lot of men are going to be identifying as robosexuals. And what that means is that they will only have intimate relationships, not even just physical, but also only physical and intimate relationships with only artificial intelligence and robots. Black men are abandoning black women for Asians, and I don't feel bad for them at all. Shout out to Mayumi. Shout out to Mayumi. I actually recently heard from her husband. I got his email. Wow, he really shared a lot with me. I'm gonna have to respond to him once I get a chance to. I've been kind of lazy with my responses, but it just shows a lot of insight into how these men are going overseas, finding these women. You know, for example, Mayumi is a physician, and you know, it may suck to say it like this, but most women who are doctors would not date someone or marry someone who was in the military and now has a security company. They would not deal with someone like that. They would want another doctor. They would want a Chad. They would want a guy making at least $1 million a year. I don't know how much money this guy's making, but they wouldn't sell it. They would not settle for him because they would because first off, even if he was making a considerable amount of money, they would also look at the kind of work he's doing, and they would turn around and say, yeah, I don't want a guy like that. I don't want a guy like that. You know, for example, a man can make $1 million a year as a janitor, right? Because he has his own janitor business. And guess what? His own cleaning business. And, a woman could say to a guy, like, what do you do for a living? He says, I'm a janitor. She will get up and walk away immediately, because she doesn't want to be associated with a janitor. And if somehow she accepts being in a relationship with him, trust me, that is only so that she can extract as much wealth and resources from this man as possible and then get out, because there is no way in the world she is staying married to a janitor. She is only there to get what she wants to get and then get out. This is the thinking of modern day women. They don't love you. They only want what you can do for them. They only like what you can do for them. And that's it. And men have to wake up and walk away from this reality, walk away from the nonsense, walk away from the games, because these women don't actually like you. They just want what you have so they can get it and then get out. Like I said, a woman is planning her divorce before she plans her wedding. What do you guys think regarding all of this? I want to hear your thoughts. I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.